Welcome to Dishin It, the Daughter and Daddy podcast. I'm Regan.
And I'm Mike.
Daughter, Daddy, Disney travel talk meets fun and friendship.
Coming up on this Preludes of Dishin It,
recapping the magic of episode 1 through 3.
What we have in store for the listeners in episode 4 through 6.
Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of the podcast at all times, because your ride is about to embark. Welcome back to Dishin It. I'm Regan.
And I'm Mike. The Dishin It podcast team brings you Preludes. Listeners, every 3 episodes we are going to bring you a special 5-minute recap of the last 3 episodes of Dishin It, the Daughter and Daddy podcast.
Plus, we will give you a prelude of what we have planned for the next 3 episodes.
Great, Regan. Let's bring in our official timer, Grayson. Grayson, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Grayson, put 5 minutes on the clock.
Okay, 5 minutes on the clock, starting now.
Okay, Regan, so we had our top 3. So we did them in the first 3 episodes. What were our top 3s?
So my top 3 was for the restaurants.
Yeah, okay, restaurants, yep.
So Be Our Guest, Pico's Bill, and Boma.
Okay, so that was in episode 1. We talked about our top 3 restaurants. I had Boma, I had Tusker's House, and I had 1900 Park Fair. They were fantastic. What else top 3s did we do?
So on episode 2 of Dishin It, we had desserts.
What were your top 3 desserts?
Mine was Mickey Bar, the Gray Stuff, and the Mickey Pretzels.
I went with the Mickey Cupcakes, which are great varieties. I also love the Dole Whip, and I went with the Chocolate Mousse. I love the Chocolate Mousse. But we also did our top 3 Disney rides. What were yours?
So mine was Slinky Dog Dash, the Rock and Roller Coaster, and Splash Mountain.
Yeah, we broke those down in episode 3. I went with my top 3 rides was Ariel Under the Sea, Avatar, and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And listeners at home, you can get all that in episode 3 of Dishin It. So Regan, we also talked a little bit about Disney. In each episode we broke down a specific component of the Disney experience, and we had in episode 1, what did we talk about in episode 1?
We talked about Animal Kingdom Jumbo House, the first visit we went.
Also our first visit, and what was memorable about that?
Once we opened the curtain, there's a giraffe staring at us.
There was a giraffe staring at it, and we get into a lot more of that in episode 1, so listeners, if you want to tune in, go check out our first ever visit to Animal Kingdom Jumbo House and to Disney. In episode 2, what did we do?
The Disney Dining Plan.
Okay, fantastic. The Disney Dining Plan. And we broke that down, and we gave the listeners at home a lot of information about the Disney Dining Plan. And what else did we talk about?
3 minutes left.
So in episode 3, we talked about the Disney Cruise Line Kids Clubs.
Oh, that was great. And we had special guest Grayson on to help talk about that. But we broke down the Disney Kids Clubs. Did you have any special Disney Kids Clubs?
Yes.
What was your favorite moment?
Playing ping pong with this certain cast member.
Oh, okay. And did you have a nickname?
Canada.
Yeah, we get into that in episode 3, folks. We talk about our the Disney Kids Clubs. We break them down from the little nursery to all the way up to Vibe and Edge and everything in between. So, Regan, on the first 3 episodes, we also had some questions. I think in episode 1, we had a question on how many times we had been to Walt Disney World, and that was from Emily, I believe. In episode 2, we had a question from Ashton, and what did he say?
He said, why is Mickey Mouse
2 minutes left.
Famous person, the most famous character?
Wow, okay. And then in episode 3, we talked about Castaway Key. We had, I think it was Jim from Detroit, who wanted to know, is Castaway Key 5K accessible? So we talked about that. And we also had the extra magic minute. What were our extra magic minutes?
So Studio A113 is a Pixar's Easter egg, the Cat Lady.
Well, the Cat Lady is in Grand Floridian?
Yes.
Okay, and what else?
And how to get the big score in Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin.
Wow, that's awesome. So, Regan, let's give out let's give the listeners a prelude to what's coming up in episode 4, 5, and 6.
We have lots in store. Top 3 Disney characters, top 3 resorts, and top 3 cruise destinations. We're going to dive deep into Fort Wilderness Campgrounds, the new Star Wars land, in Port Orleans Riverside. And when And when we
1 minute left.
And when we can travel again.
plus our usual segments of listeners' trade mail, Walt's wisdom, and the extra magic minute.
All right, we got to go fast. We got 45 seconds left. I think we should sign off from Studio A113. Listeners, you can get all the latest news and updates on Dishin It on Twitter and on Facebook at Dishin It Podcast. And Dishin It is on Instagram and YouTube as well. And families, as always, we reward the listeners who listen to the end. Big thanks to Mrs. H for allowing us to record this podcast. And thank you to Kevin MacLeod for the great music.
Thank you. We hope you enjoyed listening to Dishin It, the Daughter Daddy podcast. Please remember to think, believe, dream, and dare. Goodbye, family.
Okay, Regan. Okay, it's time for the extra magic minute. What do we have?
So we have in Magic Kingdom underground there's behind the scenes stuff that characters go down there, and you can get a tour of that, and you can see all the characters, and that's where they go to get to one area to another really fast.
Yeah, and there's lots of tunnels under there. I believe there's over 300,000 square feet of tunnels underground under the Magic Kingdom. All right, I think we got to go. How much time left, Grayson?
5, 4, 3.
We got to go. Okay, goodbye, listeners.
Goodbye.